They're two of the most powerful, polarizing, and misunderstood dogs on Earth, the Pit Bull and the Rottweiler. Both muscular, both fearless, both capable of immense love and devastating destruction. But when it comes to danger, which one truly stands at the top of the canine food chain? Today, we break down the facts, the history, and the hard data to uncover the truth behind these legendary breeds. Chapter 1. The Origins of Power, the Pit Bull. To understand the Pit Bull, you have to go back to 19th century England. They were bred from bulldogs and terriers for one brutal purpose: blood sports. Bull baiting, bear baiting, and eventually dogfighting. Only the most fearless, strongest, and pain-tolerant dogs survived. That selective breeding didn't just make them powerful, it wired their DNA for endurance and aggression. Even after those sports were banned, the breed carried that never-quit spirit, the reason pit bulls can endure unimaginable pain without backing down. The Rottweiler's roots run much deeper. All the way back to the Roman Empire, Roman legions used large, mastiff-type dogs to drive cattle, guard supplies, and protect soldiers. When Rome collapsed, those dogs settled in the German town of Rottweil, where they became known as Rottweiler Metzgerhund, or the butcher's dogs. They were bred to herd massive livestock and guard money pouches tied around their necks. The result? A breed that's powerful, intelligent, and instinctively protective. A canine soldier wrapped in fur. Chapter 2. Body built for battle, let's talk raw physicality. Pit bulls usually weigh between 50 to 70 pounds, but it's nearly all muscle. They have a bite force of around 235 psi, which may not sound like much, but combine that with a lock-on grip and insane stamina, and you get a biological vice that doesn't let go. Their shoulders and jaws are engineered for grabbing and holding, not for warning or herding. Rottweilers, though, are a different beast altogether. They can weigh 90 to 130 pounds, standing taller and broader than most dogs. Their bite? Around 328 psi, nearly 40% more crushing power than the pit bull. They've got mass, control, and discipline. When a Rottweiler bites, bones snap. They're built less for sustained fighting and more for sudden, decisive control. Chapter 3. Mindset and Temperament. Now here's where things get psychological. Pit bulls are reactive, emotionally driven. Their aggression doesn't usually come from dominance, it comes from over-arousal and lack of self-control. When they attack, they commit 100%. There's no warning growl, no bluff, just full-scale engagement. That's why pit bull attacks often last longer and cause more damage. Rottweilers, on the other hand, are strategic. They assess threats, watch, and respond only when a line is crossed. They're territorial, protective, and alert. But when they perceive danger to their family, they flip into combat mode. And that's when you realize how much force 130 pounds of trained muscle can generate. Chapter 4. The statistics that terrify numbers don't lie, and they paint a brutal picture. Between 2005 and 2019, the United States recorded 521 fatal dog attacks. According to verified public health and dog bite reports, pit bulls were responsible for 346 of those deaths. That's about 66% of all fatalities. Rottweilers ranked second with 52 deaths, roughly 10% of the total. No other breed even came close. And it doesn't stop there. In 2020 alone, out of 46 fatal dog attacks, pit bulls accounted for 33, or 72% of deaths. Rottweilers added 4 deaths, or roughly 9% of the total. Even though pit bulls make up only 6% of the total U.S. dog population, they account for over 60% of fatal attacks. It's a staggering disproportion. So why does it happen? Because many pit bulls are bred irresponsibly, for intimidation, for fighting, or for profit. Meanwhile, Rottweilers are typically bred for work and protection, not underground violence. Chapter 5. Real-world damage. In terms of injury severity, both dogs rank near the top. Emergency room data shows that Rottweiler bites tend to cause deeper, bone-crushing trauma due to their size and force. Pit bull attacks, however, are statistically more prolonged, with multiple bites and a tendency to hold, and shake. That's why many pit bull attacks result in more extensive soft tissue destruction and higher fatality rates. Animal control officers often report that breaking up a pit bull attack takes significantly more effort than stopping other breeds, not because they're evil, but because they literally don't register pain the same way. Chapter 6. Who wins in a confrontation? Let's imagine both dogs at peak condition, both untrained and provoked. A hypothetical face-off. The Rottweiler would dominate early, using its mass and crushing power. But the pit bull would fight with unmatched determination. It wouldn't back off, even if severely injured. Experts agree, the Rottweiler has the physical advantage, but the pit bull's stamina and refusal to quit make it an unpredictable opponent. It's like brute force versus pure tenacity, the unstoppable force against the immovable object. Chapter 7. The truth behind the danger. Here's what most people miss. Danger isn't about genetics alone. It's about training, environment, and socialization. Pit bulls raised with love, structure, and boundaries often become some of the most affectionate family dogs on Earth. Rottweilers trained with discipline are legendary protectors, loyal, calm, and noble. The real monsters are not the dogs. They're the humans who breed them for violence or neglect them until they break. A poorly trained Chihuahua can bite, but a poorly trained Rottweiler or Pit Bull can destroy. Chapter 8. The final verdict, so which is more dangerous? If you go by numbers, the Pit Bull wins. It's responsible for far more deaths and serious attacks worldwide. If you go by power and potential for destruction, the Rottweiler wins. It's bigger, stronger, and physically capable of more damage in a single strike. In reality, the deadliest dog is the one trained to be violent, no matter the breed. Because aggression in dogs doesn't start in their DNA, it starts in their environment. Outros, though, before you label either of these breeds as monsters, look at the leash. Look at who's holding it. Because both Pit Bulls and Rottweilers have hearts that can love just as fiercely as they can fight. When they're raised right, they're not killers. They're guardians. Companions. Heroes. The truth isn't that one breed is dangerous. It's that power in the wrong hands always is.